We welcome one of the largest players in college football, Deone Walker, 6'6", 350, drops back and covers receivers. Yeah, that's what he does. You aided in an interception against Florida. Like, for your first time covering a receiver, that's pretty good.
Yes,
So how do they bring that up to you? Like when they say, we're going to add this to your repertoire where, you're good at rushing the passer, but maybe you cover somebody.
Yeah, I always been athletic, good with my hips, They say I'm the most least stiff offensive or defensive lineman for in the building. He really added it on Tuesday or Wednesday, but he brought it to me like early in the morning. He like, would you feel comfortable? Of course I'm gonna say yeah.
Now, growing up, I assume you've always been one of the biggest people on the field. So they probably had you on the line the whole. Like, did you ever play any linebacker or anything growing up where you might have gotten to cover anybody?
No, I played a little bit of QB when I was like 7 or 8.
And then you outgrew that too?
Yeah.
So what's going through your mind on that play? Like when they signal it in, you're like, okay, this is it. I'm doing it. Like, what are you thinking?
It was just really, I just looked out to the boundary, see if there was 2 or 3 receivers, because that dictated what I had to do. They really just told me, drive for 5, sit there and get big.
Well, you don't have to get big. You're already big. But and then he throws and you are one of the triple coverage that he threw into. Did you think you were going to be able to come away with it once it started bouncing up in the air?
Oh, not really. I was just looking to kill him, like when I looked inside, seeing that he threw the ball to him, I seen the ball in the air. When I started running to him, I'm like, should I go for the ball or him? And then I seen, Trevor Wallace can't start running with me. So I'm like, I'm just going to kill him. And then wherever the ball goes, it goes.
So you can't take the lineman mentality out, even if you get a chance to cover somebody. Like all the DBs are like, I got to get that pick. You're like, I got to make that tackle.
Yeah, I want to kill somebody 24/7.
So I imagine, usually when you have a chance to make a tackle, you've got 1, 2, possibly 3 people trying to block you. Is that something else that goes through your mind? Like, okay, there's nobody here trying to block me. All I get to do is tackle this guy.
Yeah, it felt good to finally, be able to do something being untouched, and being able to put my hands on him first.
You are very vocally anti-double team. You are not a fan of the double team. And I understand your coaches have tried to explain to you that it's a sign of respect, but how mad do you get when there's 2 dudes trying to block you?
I really matured out of it. I would, the first couple games, of course, you're going to get frustrated because you want to go show everybody what you can do. But the coaches really told me, like, hey, if there's 2 people on you, 1 quarterback got the ball, that's 8 on 11 or 8 on 10. So, hey.
It's good numbers. That's right. It's exactly right. It's a big advantage. So you're playing against Georgia this week, obviously some of the best offensive linemen in the country. How exciting is that for you to get a chance to show what you can do against them?
It's great to show what I can do, but really I want to see what our defense can do against they're a top 10 passing team in the country. They all, they're going ground and pound, and I just can't wait to see what our front 8 do and how we stack up against them guys.
And you guys had a great game against Florida. Meanwhile, your offensive line was pushing them around. How much fun? Because you guys go against each other every day in practice. Like when you see them opening holes for Ray Davis, how excited does that make you?
It doesn't make me excited at all, because 9 times out of 10 they opening up the holes on me.
Well, I mean, you've seen it in real time, but you can speak to that. Like, how good is Kentucky's offensive line that you have to see all the time?
They're pretty great. We got a lot of vocal leaders on our offensive line, and I feel like that's a key that we were missing last year. We had a bunch of great guys last year too. Some went on to the league, but we had a lot of guys return. Eli Cox, he's the known leader for sure. But we got our left tackle, Marcus Cox, he's been very vocal, helping out Eli. Jagger Burden, he got 3 years under his belt. He's playing as good as can be. Jeremy Flax, holding down that right tackle's position. And, they're all just clicking right now.
So have you had to become one of those vocal leaders on defense as a sophomore?
Yeah, I say that I did, just because, I'm the biggest person out there. Everybody's going to look at me no matter what we're doing. And just me trying to be the anchor of our defense,
So you also do so much. And I know as a freshman, they had you on the edge. They'd play you at 3. They'd move you around the line. Like, how much more did you have to add this year? Obviously dropping back, but but I mean, do you feel like you can play pretty much every position on the defensive line now?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm confident in my ability with anything I do.
Yeah.
Even in high school, I knew I could play receiver if I wanted.
I want to see it.
But no, Coach White and Coach Stewart really did help me gain that confidence to think that I could play everything, to learn how to play everything, to learn how to position myself. Like, getting off in the 2-point stance, I had to learn that. But it was just for me playing around, after practice, going with outside backers, just trying to be a sponge, so to speak.
How comfortable are you when you play on the edge now? Because I remember seeing you out there as a freshman, and I'm trying to imagine what that offensive tackle's face looks like the first time he sees you coming off the edge.
I like it, not a lot of doubles. So it's a great time. But I'm getting more confident with it. I'm learning how to actually get off and attack that line. A lot of defensive line coaches talk about hitting that line. If he oversteps, go inside. If he undersets, then stay out.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not something you're thinking about when the guard and center both have their hands on you in pass pro. I imagine you're just trying to find a way through. But it's I mean, how exciting is it to know that you can affect the game in so many ways? And I imagine it's got to be a challenge for these offenses to try to figure out where you're going to be every play.
Yeah, for sure. And that goes back into seeing what our team could do. I can play the field in, I can play boundary in, I can play nose, 3-tech. I can play really anywhere on the defensive line. So just doing whatever I can to make the quarterback and their offensive line confused and more afraid of me, because that's going to end up helping my DBs, my linebackers fit their gaps.
So have you talked to Coach Stoops about putting something in on the other side of the ball for you? Because Alabama used Deron Payne as kind of a leak him out as a fullback, throw to him. There's always got that package where they bring you in as a fullback. But with your athleticism, it's got to be something where they throw it to you.
Yeah, we had a play actually last year for our bowl game against Iowa. We just didn't get to use it.
Oh man, that would have been so. You probably can't reveal too much of it, but it would have put you in the end zone with the ball, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I was coming down with it. It was 100% my ball.
Oh, you were a basketball player too, right? So you're used to you're fighting for rebounds, jump balls, that whole scenario.
Yes, sir.
So what did basketball teach you and help you with when it came to football?
I say it just helped me a lot more with my quicker cuts. Like, it probably doesn't look like it, but defensive linemen, they gotta hurry up, cut almost as much as wide receivers do.
Yeah.
But I feel like it really just helped me with my quicker cuts, side to side movements, and my body control.
And so how did you grow? Were you always tall and then got bigger, or were you always big and then got taller?
I say I was always tall and then got bigger. I was really, like, my freshman, sophomore year, I was only like 260, 270.
Only.
Like, yeah. I mean, yeah, but I didn't really start putting on the real weight until COVID happened.
And was it because you move so well at that size? when you went to college, did you think they were going to try to make you lose weight or anything? Or did they just say, hey, look, we love the way you move. Don't change anything?
I mean, they always, Kentucky, Coach Stewart, he always talks to me about losing that body fat, putting back on muscle. So I knew it was going to have to be some work done.
And how was that? What was that period like as a freshman?
It was good, I say. You know, it was a lot of hard days.
What did you have to give up food wise?
I'm a big sweets guy, so you know, cupcakes, donuts. I had to give up all that. Ice cream, Ben and Jerry's favorite.
Which Ben and Jerry's? What's your favorite flavor?
It was like it was cookie dough with Oreo pieces in there.
Oh,
yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh man, I didn't even know that existed. That's awesome. So yeah, it's hard when you're a sweets guy because like the guys who love the savory, who like to eat steak and all that, like you can keep eating that as long as you're lifting and running, but like there's no nutritionist you can talk into letting you eat donuts.
Yeah, not at all.
Like that is tough. So when did you start to feel like, okay, this body transformation is really taking place?
I really didn't start feeling like it until I want to say this past spring.
Mm-hmm.
Like my first year, it was just learning how to keep my wind up with my weight. And this past spring, I really worked on getting my weight down, getting bigger, faster, stronger, and you know, learning how to play at this new weight.
So what do you weigh right now?
335.
Oh, 330. Okay, so 6'5", 335, and still feeling good. And I would imagine that you feel like you can get more muscular, more slim down, probably keep that weight.
For sure.
Well, they're going to have to move you to linebacker then. Does Coach White just sit around imagining possibilities for you? Like, oh, I could have him do this. I could have him do this.
Yeah, I think I'm not gonna lie. I think he has a period every day to where he's like, "What can we do? Like, what can we do to fool with him?" You know?
Do you bring him ideas too?
I try to, yeah.
What's the one where you're like, he's never gonna do this, but I have to try?
It's like red zone, like 20-yard line, where I drop into a curl flat and take the seam up, you know? Yeah.
So like tight end coming up the seam or slot guy coming up the seam in the red zone, just run smack in the air. I love it. Oh, listen, Deone, if the playing thing doesn't work out, or when you're done with the playing thing, you may have a career as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, hey, I'll make some great plays for sure.
Well, you got one now who lets you do all kinds of fun stuff. So, well, what is it now? Again, the ball went up in the air. You went after the player instead of the ball. But what happens when you get that first pick? Have you imagined that in your mind?
I'm not going down for sure. I don't care if it's 99 yards. I'll walk 30 of them if need be. But I'm not going down. I'll drag all 11 with me.
I think you might be able to drag all 11. You might be the one guy who can do it. I cannot wait to see this. Deone, cannot wait to see you play against Georgia. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder, subscribe to this channel right here so you never miss an episode of Andy Staples on 3. And oh, by the way, watch all the other great videos on the On3 Sports YouTube channel.